Alright, so my name is Andrew Shushu. I'm the current Student Council President, elected last semester with Kate Malott, and Rory also joined us as Vice President in the past week. I'd like to welcome you all to the annual Fall Student Council election debates, and it's great to see all of you here, so I'm really looking forward to working with you folks this year. We also have Ethan Goldstein from CCN proctoring our debates and filming it, so we'll also be able to see it on YouTube. So that's a great way to get it out to your constituents. So let's let this debate get started.
Hello everybody, my name is Ethan Goldstein. I am the PR head of the Clark Cable Network, or CCN. I also work for the Scarlet, and I am also the host of the web and television series Vox Pop and Drop. And so I'm going to be proctoring tonight, and so what's going to happen is when I ask questions, I want this to be somewhat orderly, so if you could just raise your hands, the camera can't see this, but you're all surrounding me, and I will just indicate what order you people should come up. That way, we don't have people jockeying to stand at the podium. Now, for this debate, there's only one contested position, and that would be first year representative, which has 3 people running. So I'm going to be directing most of my questions towards them. All right, and so now I'm going to have you each just in order come up, say your names and what you're running for. I'm going to have to ask that just to keep order, you not start stumping, and then you speak up so the camera can hear you. So just simply say your names, what you're running for, and we can then begin questioning. Thank you.
I'm Brittany Klug, and I'm running for first year class representative.
My name is Raymond Ah, and I am running for first year class representative.
My name is Julia Schleppe, and I'm running for senior class representative.
My name is Jennifer Chanchella, and I'm running for first year class representative.
My name is Rebecca Liebman, and I'm running for Dana Hall Rep.
Hi, I'm Tom Spalding, and I'm running for the Hughes Hall representative.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lyon. I'm running for off-campus representative.
Hi, I'm Sammy Noor, and I'm running for minority student representative.
Hi, my name is Michiro Sabayashi, and I'm running for international student representative.
Hi, I'm Shayla, and I'm running for Maywood Hall Rep.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Sompis, and I am running for sophomore class representative.
Hi, I'm Delight Gavo, and I'm running for Don Hall representative.
Roy Jones, running for Vice President.
My name is Marissa Linehan, running for Bullock Hall representative.
All right, so thank you all for introducing yourselves, and let me begin with some questions for the contested seat of first year representative. As my first question, I'm going to ask you to tell me, how have you challenged convention and changed our world?
I've challenged convention and changed our world in a few ways. This summer, while a lot of my friends decided to hang around and say goodbye to loved ones and family, I decided to actually go to Israel and volunteer at a hospice center in an inner city there. And I think I was helping in a small way to be able to change our world, and I got to learn a lot while doing it.
Okay. I have challenged convention and changed the world because I come from a conservative all-boys school, and it's very strict, and this past my senior year, I've actually made some new policies at my school which pretty much changed our entire school policy, such as I made my entire school go to an inner city and help build basically homes for inner city children to play and like made playgrounds for them. And I also, in our school's history, I created the first dress down day.
I've challenged convention and changed the world because my parents never went to college. They were from a family of farmers in Guyana, and I'm the first person in my family to go to college.
All right, thank you for that. I'm going to continue with the first-year representatives and ask, why do you think your position is the contested position? What makes the class of 2016 so enthusiastic? Are you exceptionalist? Do you believe that your class is better than the other classes currently at Clark? Do you believe that in 2 years you will have nobody running for the junior class representative, as is the case with my very own class of 2014?
I think it's important for the first years to have a good representative because they are the underrepresented minority of the university population, and they deserve a good person to represent them and fight for their beliefs.
I believe that the first year representative is the most contested position just for the fact as week one, the president of school has said in a speech that it was pretty much the most competitive admissions, and it's awesome because I've really met some great people here and very intelligent and very just all types coming from all different backgrounds. So it's great to meet all these different types of people and like just very tenacious. So it's wonderful to see. And I think that is pretty much why the first year representative position, the position itself, is being contested so well, just because we have such a great group of people that just want to be leaders. And in case of being a first year rep, I think yes, I agree with my running mate that my opponent that we definitely should have a great leader just for the fact that the first years are the minority of this school, and we just need a great start and to pretty much have our voice heard. So we definitely need someone who is ready to take a stance on such issues, who are ready to speak up during student council meetings and just be brave about things. And let's listen to the first years and just help them out throughout this hard year, because transitioning is very, very hard for first year students.
I think the first year representative position is mostly contested in the first year. It's the only position that's contested because a lot of people come in straight from high school excited to get a fresh start and decided to come in and see what they can do to help their school, which is exactly why I'm running. I think over time you start to leave people out a little bit. People don't always want to come to student council. I think it's great to come in with the first year initiative, especially since we do have the biggest class coming in at Clark. And I hope I can just help with that.
All right, and so to kind of follow up on that, I'm going to be asking you three, what are your goals in terms of student government? Are you using this as a stepping stone to run for student council e-board in the spring? Are you content to be representing your class? You know, what in terms of ambition and politics made you want to be the one of three first-year representatives?
I wanted to be first-year representative because I think it's really important to come in and be able to learn from everyone. I thought it was a great way to meet people and to get along and just to transition well and to hope that others transition well. I would like to represent the class for the entire first year and keep going on to do that. I don't have any plans to run for e-board next semester, but I'd really like to work with the first-year class.
My long-term goals for being a first-year representative pretty much starts from when I was very young, just for the fact that my family and I came from an inner city in New York City. I was born and raised in New York City, and I've always wanted to help the less fortunate. And like pretty much, I always wanted to be a politician when I was young. And that started off by me running for office in my high school and becoming president of my school, and then trying to make changes that many thought were impossible. But I pretty much challenged convention and changed my school. In this case, I would really love to help Clark, because obviously before I want to be a politician and try to change my community or my nation, I have to definitely start with something small, and I would love to have the opportunity to sort of change Clark for the better and just listen to what people have to say and what my constituents have to say, and I would just be really honored to run and to represent my class.
I want to be first year class representative because I have a strong interest in politics. I would like to be a politician as well in the future, and my biggest dream is to become the first female president of the United States. And I would just like to be a leader on campus and help represent all students.
All right, and now that I've discussed your ambitions in terms of the politics, I also want to get into what your goals are, or as in, what are your long-term plans for Clark? What changes do you want to see enacted if you do stay in student politics for 3 years? At the end of your senior year, what will be the crowning triumph you are remembered for?
My long-term goal actually is kind of funny for Clark in matters of student government is actually trying to help the underclassmen, just for the fact that I know it's very hard to acclimate from high school to college. So what I started in my high school is a thing called a peer tutoring program, which I do not think Clark has after I looked it up, sort of where seniors and juniors can help out sophomores and freshmen when they basically come here academically and socially, etc. So like one thing I'd really like for me to happen, for me to imply or like to put in Clark is pretty much a sort of a better relationship and a stronger way for upperclassmen and underclassmen to pretty much associate with each other and mingle really well.
I think the most important thing in representing first years is to make sure that they have an influence in their community, that their voice is heard, because sometimes the presence of older individuals can be very overwhelming, and their opinions are considered more. So I think it's important for their opinions, for freshmen opinions to be represented too.
I was in student government in my high school, and a lot of times I felt like people came in with a plan or something that they wanted to do, and a lot of times the students didn't have a say, and I don't just mean first years, but sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and so I'm not trying to come in with a plan, I'm trying to come in with like open ears and trying to listen to what people really want. I really have an interest in getting to know the people that I'm representing and the people that didn't vote for me or don't want to vote for me or just want to get to know us. Other classes, not just first years. So overall, I like to long-term work with everyone.
All right, now I've been asking you three a lot about what your long-term plans are, but let's quote Michael Stipe for the second, and it is the end of the world as we know it. Now let's suppose, for the sake of argument, that December 21st, the world comes to an end. What are you doing in this semester, regardless of long-term goals, to make things better for the Clarkies right here, right now?
Whatever the students feel should be done, I will do my best to represent them and make those changes happen, whether it's with the community, on campus, or in the environment.
I think in the first semester, the first year representative's goal should be getting everyone acclimated, getting everyone to know each other, getting everyone part of the community, and getting to work with part of Worcester and Clark.
Obviously, if the world was ending, I have my prerogatives, and one of my prerogatives are pretty much for exactly what my opponent says about getting the underclassmen in the first years to get acclimated to the school, but also I would love the whole idea of trying to pursue things such as for upperclassmen and underclassmen to have better relations with each other, to let them pretty much associate with each other more often. So anything which just makes their life comfortable for first years, to make them feel at home here, I would pretty much try to pursue that.
All right, and this one I'm going to start by asking the three of you and then begin to open it up to the rest of the people who are here. So, there's been a lot of talk about campus safety lately. In fact, it was a major scandal last semester due to some unfortunate circumstances which brought campus security under a lot of scrutiny. But as first years, how do you guys feel about the campus safety? Do you feel secure, and what do you think should be done to improve it even further?
Obviously, since first-year students are the newest on campus, they're the most vulnerable out of everybody else that have attended the school before. What I feel about campus safety, obviously checking my email and hearing these stories about people, students getting robbed and my peers pretty much getting hurt in different types of ways, it's very unfortunate. But however, I do trust campus safety at Clark University. They have, during week one, the campus police definitely, I forgot his name, but like he definitely like showed the students really well like on what to do in certain types of situations, and all like just Clark students like, and I trust them to be smart about it when situations do occur, what to do. Like they've taught us really well at week 1. Like I just trust them to use their common sense and their instincts and their skills that they've learned at week 1 just to use it. But overall, I think campus safety is it's like perfect, not perfect, but good here.
I've only been at Clark for a month, but so far I felt extremely safe. I do think it's a positive thing that they let us know when something's going on so we can be aware of the situation. Obviously, I don't think anything is completely perfect, or else we wouldn't be sitting in this room, debating what we need to do next and how we can help our school and the community. I always feel there's ways to improve, and I think the PAs and the whole week 1 program did a really great job of informing us of how to get help, how to help others, and I just think expanding that knowledge to everyone at school would be great.
I think Clark does a really good job of educating students about campus safety, and they provide them with a lot of information in workshops and other support groups about how they can stay safe, and I think they do a really good job of keeping students informed.
All right, and now I'm going to open it up to the rest of the people here. I'd prefer if the other first years could come first and give their perspective, but anyone can feel free to answer.
Unfortunately, some circumstances have happened recently and in the past semester that have led Clark students to feel more unsafe than before. However, I think it's really important to remember that we go to school in an urban environment, and like any urban environment, you have to have common sense. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you probably shouldn't be walking home alone. And while that hasn't necessarily prevented, just because someone isn't walking home alone doesn't mean that they're completely safe. But I think it's important to remember that common sense in any area, can help you. And I'm from a suburb in Connecticut, and I wouldn't do certain things, in the middle of the night. So just being safe and knowing who's around you, walking with a friend, using the escort service can really be beneficial.
So yeah, we live in Worcester, and as everyone knows, we can tell, or can see by looking outside, it's got some rough parts, and security is obviously a concern. But our administration, I've had the pleasure to be part of for the past 2 weeks, is actually doing some, having safety forums, meet with Chief Goulet and a bunch of other, today President Angel showed up and had a physical plan, and actually went really well. People, students who had concerns about the community, about safety, came and talked to the Chief of Police, and I think he really took a lot of what they said to heart, and he gave some really good advice. And so that's just one of the ways I think this administration is trying to work towards better campus safety and continue to improve.
Hi. So as far as we all know, there's been a lot of problems that I've witnessed over the last year that I've been a student here at Clark University. And if there was ever a platform that were to come to Student Council, I would definitely try and work towards having more 911 operators, because I know that's definitely one of the major issues we face. When you call and there might be someone else on the phone, you will get a busy tone until they can pick up, and if you call 911, they just reference you back to the campus police. So that's one of the things that I would definitely work towards getting solved within the next year of Student Council.
I'm Tom Spalding. So campus safety is a serious issue at Clark University. We get emails, unfortunately far too often, about events that happen to students. It's certainly a concern, but I think what Clark does, and Clark students do a lot, is to try to combat that perception that Worcester is a scary, awful place. It's certainly a place you have to be careful about. You have to kind of keep your wits around you. You can't run around willy-nilly, but one of my best experiences at Clark was taking Mark Davidson's psychogeography my first semester here actually. We spent a lot of time in University Park near Crystal Pond, and just kind of out in the community. And it was a really good experience to see that there's a part of Worcester that isn't bad, that is very nice. And I think a lot of Clark groups that volunteer and help out the community are very important, and I think it's good to have student council interfacing with those groups and promoting their activities so that people can see, hey, even though every once in a while unfortunate things occur, there's also a lot of good in the community.
All right, and now that we're on to general questions, I'm going to be asking you people, just everybody here, more about their experience. Now, to an extent, some of the first-year representatives have already answered this, but what is your crowning achievement thus far? What initiatives have you pursued in the past, and how do those affect what you want to pursue in student council?
So student council as a whole has actually completed a really great number of great tasks over the last year. We had some library donation funds where we built a library for a public school. We helped out with the community. We looked after a whole bunch of clubs at campus. And I have been the chair of the communications committee, and we put on a lot of really great events for student council, such as Kisses with Council, the Valentine's Day event, where we handed out chocolate kisses to our constituents in order to understand better all of their wishes for student council throughout the year. We had them write down everything they could ever desire on a list. We also had lots of tea time with council. We had cocoa with council. We had lots of FaceTime with the student body, and we had everybody from council come out and volunteer. And they were all really great events where we got to spend time as a student council body with our constituents and ask them everything that they could ever want to tell us about what they want changed at Clark, and they could tell us about how much, Clark is great and everything that's going on in their lives, and it was just so much fun, and that's what we've done here.
So as the old chair of organizational committee, just speak to a little bit of what our organizational committee did last semester. So I guess I'll go first with what council as a whole did. We took care of that $78,000 surplus, and we got a nice new refurbished playground, a whole lot of recycling bins, and some gender-neutral bathroom labels, which were all good things to happen. And so that was I feel a victory of student council last year. And then as organizational committee, it was really just taking care of things like PCFs, doling out $300 for local events on campus, which is really good. A lot of students utilize that. We're hoping to push that in the future, so more students actually look at that first before we go into a grants request, because it's a good source of funds. And taking care of management space, office spaces for clubs and stuff, and try to streamline that process a little bit. And last year, what started, again, I'm just going to rehash the public safety forums were a good thing that started last year, and we're hoping to continue them, so that's a change we made.
Well, I've been a part of the student council in my high school and my middle school, starting in about 6th grade. But when I got to high school, I also started working with a club called Reach to Women. And by my senior year, I was co-president with one of my best friends, and we actually were able to organize a pink out not only for our homecoming football game, but for our hockey game. And we were able to raise quite a bit of funds for Susan G. Komen. And I think one of the greatest parts of that was that I was able to work with my position in the student council and use the position I have with Reach to Women to bring clubs together, and something I would really love to do here at Clark.
I've been my school's president at my high school since I was a freshman, and I've definitely, one of the biggest things I've definitely achieved at my school is a peer tutoring program, which pretty much helped younger children, like freshmen and sophomores, to be acclimated to our high school, which is a pretty hard school. When it comes to, also another thing that I've achieved is definitely during, I'm part of the football team, and during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, for all our home games, I made our entire roster wear pink, like pink socks, pink tape, pink everything, pink receiving gloves, like everything, just for breast cancer awareness. And matter of fact, we had the senior girls pretty much go around the fields and the audience and pretty much collect money for breast cancer awareness. So it has been, I've been really happy with the successes that I have made throughout my school and plan to continue them at Clark.
All right, now if that's all for that, I'm going to give a question that is not one for the first year representatives to answer, but for everyone else. Essentially, why is your position uncontested? Do you believe that what you're doing is important? If we were to replace you with an empty seat, a la Barack Obama at the Republican convention, what would we miss? All right, so if you could tell us about what makes your job important despite not being jockeyed for.
So I'm running for vice president. I am a little surprised that it's not contested because it's actually an e-board position. It's quite important. It's got it takes care of, like I said before, organization committee, which doles out a lot of funds to people, and it's actually relatively limited fund, but needs some oversight to hand out to get the money to the students, to the clubs, so Clark can continue to enjoy the activities its clubs provide. And I mean, vice president also has to do with a lot of the big decisions, such as like where does the surplus money go if something arises. And the thing is too is that it's a very fluid, e-board's a very fluid position. Like things will come up that you can't foresee. Like last year we had some mishaps with like projector money and stuff, and like just a lot of things we couldn't see coming came. We had to approach them with kind of out of the blue. We had to think about them and make a correct decision, and hopefully we did, and that's what e-board's for.
Hi, so I'm running for International Student Representative, and I believe that it is extremely important to have that position because, well, Clark has a very high percentage of international students, especially the coming first year class. I think it's about 15% of the class. We have about, I think, over 100, it's like 118 international students coming in this year during week 1. So yeah, it is a big percentage of the student body, but it is true that for like, I think a lot of people who are coming in, maybe first years of transfers even, a lot of people are not used to having international students around. Maybe like some people do come from international schools in the States, but it is true that Clark is probably more diverse than most high schools in the United States. So it is a big adjustment for the international students to come into Clark, as well as like the other part of the student body who's not used to living or taking classes with international students. So it definitely is a big change for everyone. So I feel like that's where I can help. So yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Tom Spalding again. So I think my position is uncontested. Because of a little anecdote, I think. So I asked a lot of my friends and a lot of people in Hughes Hall what they thought the student council did, and I got kind of a lot of shrugs or I don't knows or kind of like, well, I think they do something, but no one was really sure. That was really unfortunate. I was kind of disappointed to hear those responses and so many of them. So I guess what I'm hoping to do is to kind of bring a lot of energy and excitement and get the word out there as to what exactly Student Council does and can do for its students.
Hi, once again, I'm Delight. I think people do not want to run because they think they can only do little for their hall, and I'm running for their hall. But one of my favorite quotes is, "The greatest mistake you can ever make is to do nothing because you can only do little. Do what you can. And the first time I heard of DOD and I found out my room, I was on the 4th floor. And everyone told me, there's no elevator. And I was like, has anyone ever like asked for an elevator or anything, like petition and being like persistent and trying to get it done? Because I know renovations have gone on in every in Johnson, Sanford and everything. So it's about time DOD has some renovations. So I'm running to bring the change to DOD.
Hi, I'm Sammy, and I'm running for Minority Student Representative. And one reason that I feel like it's uncontested is because not many people knew there was a minority representative position that existed. And I feel like I actually give a voice for the many existing minorities on campus. And I feel like I can do this better by tabling sessions, asking people about their concerns, and I can bring it closer to student council and create reforms or do something for them that would benefit them.
So I'm running for off-campus representative. First question you asked was why I think it's uncontested. I would say, one, that it's surprising because there are 3 spots open. 2, the reason is probably because most students who do live off campus are upperclassmen, and they might see the opportunity of joining the student council as sort of a late thing. Maybe they're not like ready to join something new in their junior, sophomore, or junior, senior year. But I think it is important to represent the on-campus students because it can feel sort of detached sometimes. You're away from campus, you're not a 2-second walk from the dining hall or the library. You actually have to think about going to classes and think about going to club meetings. So it's good to have off-campus students represented in that way.
To answer the first question of why the position is probably uncontested, I think that Subdana Hall is sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and a lot of times because of Clark's size, by the time you're a sophomore, you're pretty comfortable at Clark, and you kind of know what you're interested in and what you're not interested in. And a lot of people who live around me, they know what they're interested in. They're involved in a lot of clubs and activities, and for them, student council isn't something that interests them. And goes along with what Tom said, kind of a lot of people don't necessarily know what student council does exactly, and they just don't feel compelled in the way that we all do. They feel compelled to do other things, and there are a bunch of great clubs on campus that we help and that we perpetuate and allow them to do great activities. But some people just aren't compelled to do student council the way that we are.
All right, and kind of as a follow-up to what a lot of you guys have said, what do you guys want to do to increase enthusiasm for student council for the big sorts of events that, the student council is involved in? Do you want to increase student enthusiasm for that? This question is open to everybody, by the way, and what will you do to that extent?
This question actually directly relates to the agenda of the Communications Committee at Student Council. And we have been working very hard to just increase knowledge about Student Council amongst the students here. And over the next year, I really hope that we can plan some major events. I've only been chair for a semester, so in the next year, I really hope that we can have some maybe Student Council funded parties in the grind, get some bands together, have some really great music, get a good cause to donate all of our proceeds to, just making more fun events that can be hosted by Student Council to get students to tell us about what they want from Student Council at these events, and just hopefully becoming more intertwined with the student body and making sure that they know what we do for them.
Yeah, I think that's a major issue with that not only student council but clubs as a whole at Clark have trouble with. I mean, we've got Link, we've got slides, we've got posters, but just getting the word out is a pretty big problem. It's just hard. Clark students, they're good people, but getting motivated is rather difficult sometimes. So I think that's one of kind of the great challenges. And if we were the student council to solve it, that would be fantastic. And I would appreciate to see that.
All right, now if there's no one else who wants to answer that question, let me go on to what will be the final question before I allow the audience a chance to speak. And so my final question is kind of variant on that. So here I am, I'm representing currently all student media. I'm a member of CCN and the Scarlet. We couldn't unfortunately get a Rock U representative to come. What are your goals for student media? Why should my peers in CCN and on the Scarlet write editorials, make videos in your favor? What will you do to make student media important?
I think that ties in very closely with the last question. Just comes into getting the word out. I think trying to strengthen council's ties with all the groups would be fantastic. We've had on and off ties, I think, with all the media groups. We've got a show, something with council, talking with council.
Conversations with council.
Thank you. Conversation with council, and someone used to have a radio show at one point. I don't know, but that's the point. I don't know. That's the bad part. Is I don't know. So I think we should strengthen our ties with them. Try to get a little more dialogue, a little more involvement, a little more crossover.
I definitely agree with you. Honestly, I'm a sophomore here, and my freshman year last year, I didn't really know what CCN did, or what Rock U did throughout, well, maybe till second semester, and because I knew one of my friends was on student council, I knew that all the student council meetings was videotaped and was publicized. But I wouldn't have known if I didn't have a friend in student council, so definitely I agree with Rory that it should be more publicized and people should know more about it.
So when I was in high school, which seems so long ago, my senior year I was president of the senior class and I was also editor-in-chief of the high school newspaper, which I don't think should ever be allowed ever because you should not be in charge of politics and media together. But anyway, just from that experience, I realized that they really go hand in hand, and the media helps publicize events that go on with student council, and student council can help in the same way. At the same time, I would say don't ask what student council can do for you, ask what you can do for your student council.
All right. Now that I've exhausted my supply of questions, I am going to open this up to our lovely audience. So, if you have any questions, Mr. Shushu, were you raising your hand?
Not at this time.
I've got a question for Juju.
Well, unfortunately, he's not up for debate. So, Kate Lally.
Well, if there are no questions from the audience, no? Okay. Then I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming out today and sharing your thoughts and goals for student council. We're really excited for the next coming year, and I just kind of want to open it up to final statements from anybody. If you want any closing things, any specific things that you want your constituents to know, the people out there voting, just come up and let us know. Thank you.
All right, I guess I'll start this off. I was first year class representative last year, and I worked hard to get the opinions of my entire grade out into student council and follow what I thought to be their best interest when making major decisions. And I hope over the next year, as a part of student council, as sophomore class representative, I will continue to do this, and I'm really excited for this upcoming year. So, thank you.
Last year I was Right Hall representative, and chair of elections committee. And I think it's really important just to tell all of you running, there's a lot of new faces, and I'm glad to see that. It's really important, think about your name, you're representing your constituency, so it goes both ways. You are talking and living with the people who you're representing, and so hopefully you can bring their best foot forward when you come to council. In the same way that your constituents might not necessarily know exactly what student council does, you can change that. So last year I sent out weekly emails to all my constituents, basically updating them on what we were talking about in council and asking them if they wanted to, have any events in Wright Hall. It's really great being a hall representative because you can become really close with your constituency since you're always around them. But so anything like that, just realize that you're an ambassador for Clark and that you have a lot of say on council, and you're really representing your school in a great way. Thanks.
And all right, that seems to be all. I thank everybody here for coming. I thank the debatees for showing up and giving us much to talk about, and the audience for being so patient. And so, thank you, and that concludes the 2012 Student Council debate.